Question: does it have to be historically true to believe in it? The line between historical fact and mythological belief has often been blurred in the diverse landscape of human belief and practice. This is particularly true within the realms of paganism and esoteric traditions, where ancient lore, poetic constructions, and modern reinterpretations intertwine. So, the question we pose today: does it have to be historically true to believe it? Is timely and pertinent. For many in the pagan and esoteric communities, the origins, authenticity, and historical veracity of their practices are of paramount importance. They serve as anchors, offering legitimacy and continuity to their spiritual paths. Yet, as scholars and/or practitioners, we must recognize that history and belief are not always one and the same. While history is a discipline grounded in evidence, seeking verifiable facts from the past, belief is a deeply personal realm, often transcending empirical confines. In our exploration today, we will delve into the nuances of this dichotomy, aiming not to discredit or diminish the power of myth, but to cultivate a deeper understanding of its role and relevance in our spiritual lives. Moreover, by examining specific instances, like the modern poetic construction of the triple goddess or contemporary perceptions of perennialism, we aim to foster an informed and discerning approach to spiritual practices. The goal is not to dictate what one should believe, but to encourage thoughtful reflection on the origins and implications of those beliefs. After all, in the realm of the spiritual and the sacred, understanding the journey of a belief can be as enlightening as the belief itself. Before we dive in, I'd love to remind you to sign up for my newsletter. Don't rely on the capricious algorithm and social media platforms that could shut down whenever they decide. By signing up for my newsletter, you will always be up to date with my work and will get access to exclusive content, pictures, insights, and academic research. You find the link in the bio, the cards, the info box, and the pinned comment. You will also find all the ways to support Angela's Symposium, as this project is brought to you by you. And thank you to the generous souls who make this project available freely to all. Now let the symposium begin. Hello Symposiast, I'm Dr. Angela Puca, Religious Studies PhD, and this is your online resource for the academic study of magic, esotericism, paganism, shamanism, and all things occult. At the heart of our discourse in this episode lies the distinction between two integral components of human understanding: historical facts and mythological beliefs. To navigate this intricate terrain, it's imperative we first delineate the nature of these constructs. First, historical facts. These are assertions grounded in empirical evidence, rooted in verifiable events or realities of the past. The discipline of history relies on rigorous methodologies, utilizing primary sources, archaeological findings, and corroborative evidence to piece together a mosaic of the past. When we speak of historical facts, we refer to conclusions drawn from such systematic investigations, always bearing in mind that history as a discipline is continually evolving. New discoveries can reshape our understanding and interpretations can vary, but the underpinning principle remains a dedication to evidence-based conclusions. As for mythological beliefs, myths, on the other hand, operate in a different dimension. They are narratives, stories, and legends that might not be anchored in historical reality, but hold profound symbolic, spiritual, and cultural significance. Myths often encapsulate the ethos of a culture, its values, fears, aspirations, and understandings of the cosmos. While they may not always align with historical chronicles, their power lies in their ability to resonate with the human psyche, offering explanations, solace, and a sense of belonging, besides the esoteric significance that it has for practitioners. It's worth noting that the delineation between history and myth isn't a judgment of value. One isn't superior to the other, they simply serve different functions. History seeks to understand and chronicle the past, while myths aim to imbue life with meaning, often addressing existential questions and human dilemmas. As we journey further into paganism and esoteric traditions, it becomes clear that history and myth play pivotal roles. They inform practices, shape rituals, and influence interpretations. Yet, the crux of our exploration today is understanding how these two realms intersect and at times diverge. By doing so, I hope to foster a space where both can be appreciated for their unique contributions without conflating one with the other. Now, let's cover an important concept: mythopoesis, a term derived from the Greek words mythos, meaning story, and poiesis, meaning making or crafting, encapsulating the powerful art of myth making. In the realms of magic and esotericism, it isn't just about weaving tales, but about constructing intricate narratives that underpin rituals, beliefs, and spiritual journeys. Symbols form the vibrant heart of every myth, resonating as a universal language for the soul. These symbols, whether it's the all seeing eye or the transformative phoenix, offer a shared lexicon that transcends cultural and temporal boundaries, giving voice to the ineffable in the esoteric path. Myths, in their symbolic richness, serve as spiritual maps, guiding seekers through the vast cosmos of metaphysical truths. Venturing into the mystical without these narratives is akin to navigating uncharted territories without a compass. Also, in the world of magic, rituals aren't just actions, but stories unfolding in real time. By embedding rituals with mythic narratives, they are enlived, turning the practitioner into both the storyteller and the protagonist of a living tale. This interplay allows for a unique form of personal alchemy. Mythopoesis grants each practitioner the agency to become their own myth maker, reimagining their life narrative and carving a path of transformation. What's truly captivating about mythopoesis is its dual dance with the universal and the personal. While myths might echo collective themes, they are also deeply adaptable, melding grand tales from the collective unconscious with intimate individual narratives. This fluidity ensures that esoteric traditions are not static but evolving entities. Old tales find new interpretations and fresh stories emerge, keeping the wellspring of wisdom vibrant and renewing. To delve into magic and esotericism is to wholeheartedly embrace mythopoesis. It stands as the alchemy of crafting narratives that not only reflect but also shape spiritual realities. In this dance of symbols and stories, the boundaries between the mythic and the tangible blur, inviting us into realms where magic is palpably lived. Through mythopoesis, we come to understand that in the esoteric landscape, practitioners are not merely consumers of myths, but active, empowered creators of our own spiritual journeys. Now that we have clarified the importance of myth and myth making in magic and esotericism, back to our difficult topic of navigating the intricate interplay between personal spiritual experience and historical fact, which requires a nuanced understanding of the nature of belief, evidence, and interpretation. So let's now focus for a moment on personal spiritual experience. At its core, a personal spiritual experience is a deeply subjective, transformative event. It can be a vision, a revelation, or a moment of profound insight. These experiences are deeply meaningful to the individual, often reshaping their understanding of the self, the world, and the divine. An illustrative example would be someone having a vision where they encounter Artemis and Hecate as manifestations of the same goddess. For this individual, such a vision might be life altering, offering new perspectives on divinity, duality, and unity. This experience is authentic and valid in the context of their personal spiritual journey. In contrast, historical facts are established through rigorous methodologies, including archaeological evidence, textual analysis, and scholarly consensus. They are objective facts, verifiable and consistent across various sources and interpretations. In the context of our example, historical evidence suggests that Artemis and Hecate were worshipped as distinct deities with their own unique attributes, mythologies, and cults in ancient times. So, as we said, the spiritual experience of this person is valid and part of their own spiritual journey. However, it diverges from the historical facts. And the juncture of contention really only arises when the boundaries between personal experience and historical fact blur. While the vision of Artemis and Hecate as a unified deity might be spiritually transformative for an individual, asserting this as a historical truth based solely on personal experience and applying confirmation bias to interpret the evidence according to one's own agenda is misleading. Such assertions can muddle the waters of academic discourse and potentially misinform others seeking historical or factual knowledge. So it's essential to respect and validate personal spiritual experiences as such. They offer a rich set of beliefs, insights, and transformative moments that contribute to the diverse landscape of human spirituality. However, it's equally crucial to delineate these from historical facts. Academics and scholars are responsible for providing evidence based information, and we are not the arbiters of spiritual validity. Our primary concern is with verifiable facts and accurate knowledge, not personal revelations. The key issue arises when individuals, driven by their genuine spiritual experiences, make broad generalizations or historical claims not rooted in evidence. Such assertions can perpetuate misinformation, especially in an age where information spreads rapidly. So it's really essential for individuals to recognize the distinction between what is personally meaningful and what is historically verifiable. Both have their place, but they serve different purposes and should be approached with discernment and respect. To elucidate the interplay between historical facts and mythological beliefs, let's delve into the case of the triple goddess, a concept deeply ingrained in many modern pagan practices and on which I've made a dedicated episode. The triple goddess, often represented as the maiden, mother, and crone, has become emblematic of the cyclical nature of life, reflecting phases of the moon and stages of a woman's life. Its resonance in contemporary pagan and Wiccan circles is undeniable. However, its purported ancient roots merit closer examination. The widespread contemporary understanding of the triple goddess can be attributed significantly to Robert Graves's work, The White Goddess. In his poetic and interpretative exploration, Graves proposes the idea of an ancient European goddess triad. While his narrative was captivating and profoundly influential, it's crucial to note that Graves's approach was not strictly historical. Instead, it was a blend of personal intuition, poetic interpretation, and selective use of sources. The evidence for a pan-European triple goddess worship is scant when we score historical records, archaeological findings, and ancient iconography. While triple deities and goddess triads can be found in various ancient cultures, they don't consistently align with the maiden, mother, and crone archetype. Thus, while the concept resonates deeply with many today, its ancient, widespread roots are not firmly established in historical evidence. This case underscores a salient point. The potency of a belief doesn't necessarily stem from its historical veracity. The triple goddess, whether ancient or modern, serves as a profound spiritual symbol for many. It encapsulates themes of cyclicity, transformation, and the divine feminine. Its value in spiritual practice is not diminished by its historical ambiguity. In examining narratives like the triple goddess, it becomes evident that myths, irrespective of their factual origins, have an unparalleled ability to mold the human psyche and experience. Dive deep into the realm of myths, and you will find they resonate with age-old themes and archetypes, striking chords that seem to be universally understood. This notion was championed by Carl Jung, the esteemed Swiss psychiatrist, who posited that myths reverberate within our collective unconscious. This shared reservoir of symbols and patterns found across cultures ensures that myths not only provide solace but also guide introspection and personal growth. Beyond the individual realm, myths act as the glue binding communities. They foster shared tales, legends, and beliefs, crafting a collective identity and offering a unified framework of values. So, as you can see, even in the full acknowledgement that a myth is not historically accurate, which is something that we should always bear in mind when something is not historically accurate, they still convey realities of a unique nature. Think about Dante Alighieri, the illustrious Italian poet who wrote the Divine Comedy, or Divina Commedia in Italian, who held allegory in high esteem, viewing it as a potent religious instrument. Much like Dante's allegorical works, myths encapsulate insights about human nature, our cosmic position, and our intricate dance with the divine. Far from mere tales, myths are allegorical narratives steeped in layers of meaning, reflecting our deepest yearnings, challenges, and hopes. So, as you can see, now that we have clarified what a myth is, what a personal experience is, and what historical fact is, we understand that the distinction between historical fact and mythological or personal beliefs remains paramount. While both serve invaluable roles in our spiritual journeys, conflating the two can lead to misinformed practices and beliefs, and also spreads misinformation around the world. Just because something works for you, it doesn't make it historically true. So, when approached with discernment and open-mindedness, both history and myth, or personal spiritual experience or personal gnosis, can enrich people's spiritual path, offering depth, understanding, and a profound sense of connection. This is it for today's video. If you watched until this point, leave me an old scroll emoji, because history is important, even when it doesn't align with your personal beliefs and your spiritual myths. Now, my dear symposiasts, this project of delivering free academic knowledge based on peer-reviewed scholarship can only exist thanks to your support. So if you have the means and want to offer this knowledge for free to everybody, even those who can't afford it, please consider supporting my work with a one-off PayPal donation by joining memberships, joining my inner symposium on Patreon or on Ko-fi, super thanking me, and checking out my services on drangelapuca.com. You can have tutoring sessions and private lectures with me, so check it out. All links are in a pinned comment and in the info box. And also don't forget to sign up for my newsletter to get to know me better through my personal reflections and ponderings over my academic work and on all things esoteric. If you like this video, don't forget to smash the like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, hit the notification bell to be notified of any new release, and leave me a comment. Let me know what are your thoughts on this episode. Thank you all so much for being here, and stay tuned for all the academic fun. Bye for now.